want an exposure to a market or an
Everything they need in one place.
Being the world's foremost authority on individuals, advisors and institutions.
Hello and welcome to Morningstar. I'm Emma Wall, and here with me today to give his 3 stock picks is Ollie Beckett, manager of the TR European Growth Trust. Hello, Ollie.
Hi, good morning.
So looking at Europe, bit of a mixed bag. What's your first stock?
It's a company called LPKF, a small German company who make laser machines, effectively.
When you say laser machines, are we talking James Bond style guns, or are we talking machinery? What do these do?
Essentially, it all sounds very sort of Star Wars, but I mean, one of the things is it allows, for example, plastic antennae to be put into metal casing of mobile phones. So it saves space in things like mobile phones. So more and more, if you pick up a Samsung phone, the antenna will be put into the casing of the phone. Equally, increasingly, we're using laser for welding to replace glue. So if you were to take, I don't know, if you took Usain Bolt's running shoe, okay, no longer would it be glued, you'd actually laser weld it. And again, there are advantages because glue can cause contamination, particularly if you start looking into the food space. So I think it's going to be a huge growth area. I mean, we've owned it for about 18 months, but I expect it to do well going forward.
With a niche stock like that, I expect it can go either way. You're either sort of a master of that particular market, or it's so niche that it can go under. Which one is this?
It's essentially a master. I mean, they've had a few issues with the Chinese trying to copy them and breach a few patents, but essentially it's dominating that market, and it's a very, it's early stage market, particularly the welding side of it.
So what's your second stock?
My second stock is Eiffage, and mainly, why do I think this is interesting? Most people at the moment are very negative on France. They're very derisory about it. Mr. Hollande probably doesn't help. And essentially, though, Eiffage is, you don't get much more French than Eiffage. What do? It's a construction company, they have a service business, but they also operate the toll roads. It's a joint venture with the Australian company Macquarie.
Is it a domestically focused stock? Is it just in France, or is this European-wide?
There's some international construction, but essentially it is a very domestic stock. But whilst the French economy is maybe lacking and slow to reform, people are still using the roads. And actually, road usage is increasing.
Is this an income as well as a growth stock?
Yeah, we'll get a small dividend, but I mean, really, I think it's just a significantly undervalued asset because most people just think, France is terrible, but I think it's significantly undervalued.
And what's your third stock?
My third stock is DeLonghi, which a lot of people will see in their kitchens.
Making coffee machines?
Yeah, they are one of the 2 companies that has the right to make Nespresso machines, which is continuing to grow. Coffee it's almost an aspirational drink in parts of Asia, for example. But the growth I expect to come really is from their recent acquisition of Braun.
And what are the risks with that company then?
Well, there is a risk that the whole Nespresso machine thing has become a fad, and coffee machines becomes a fad, and that slows down and becomes a slightly saturated market. But I think there's still a lot of room for growth. You add things like frothing of milk, for example, say make a cappuccino. But I think actually a lot of the upside is going to come from this acquisition of Braun, which they bought off Procter & Gamble. And it really lost its way under Procter & Gamble. It used to be owned by Gillette. And so sales have really declined under Procter & Gamble. And if they can get that brand back up, and it's a very strong brand in certain markets, particularly Germany, I think the hopes are very good.
And offering them diversification of product?
Yeah, so it takes them more and more into sort of away from coffee machines and more and more into the kitchen. And they also own Kenwood, for example.
Ollie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Emma Wall for Morningstar. Thank you for watching.